Sign Christ. Let's give it a couple of seconds real quick. Okay, I'm signing Christ. Let's get it together real quick. Priest knows of 5,000 Shalayala, represent the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, come out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. This is Tuesday, the Brotherhood class. Sorry for the late start. We had some technical difficulties, but we got it all together. So real quick, because we pressed for a little bit of time, we're going to go into self-reflection, all right? Now, what do I mean by self-reflection? It means checking yourself before you check other people. You understand? Examining yourself before you examine someone else. You understand? There's an old saying, sweep in front of your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. You know what I'm saying? Clean up your own backyard before you try to clean mine. Clean your house before you clean mine. So forth and so on. You understand? It's easy to point out someone else's faults and someone else's issues and forget that you have issues yourself. You understand? Or try to minimize your issues like your issues aren't that bad. You know, it's just, you know, I'm doing wrong, but not as bad as them. You know, they doing worse than me. You know, I smoke crack. They do dope. You know, I'm better than that. You know, sounds foolish, but this could be the mentality of some brothers and sisters, specifically in the world. You know what I'm saying, that have this kind of attitude. And we can't have that kind of attitude and have brotherhood and sisterhood at the same time. Why I say brotherhood and sisterhood? Because those two words are synonymous. You understand? Brotherhood and sisterhood means the same exact thing. And brothers and sisters have to take time to sit back and examine themselves before they examine someone else. You understand what I'm saying? We could sit here and point the finger, like I said, and say this one's doing bad and this one's doing that and that one's doing this. Meanwhile, we all messed up on the inside of us. You know, so we got all types of crazy, wicked thoughts and doing things behind closed doors and in the dark, thinking nobody can see it, and so forth and so on, and come out and point the finger. You know who does that a lot? Christian pastors do that a lot. They sit there and talk about everybody else and what everybody else is doing, and who's going to hell, and who's going to be saved, and who this and who that. And meanwhile, there's most of the money grubbing, disgusting, nasty sexual deviants. You understand? They're very talented and good at, you know, pointing the finger or pushing the blame on someone else. You understand? Well, according to the Most High God, that is something that we should not do. You understand what I'm saying? And we can't do that, especially when it comes to brotherhood and sisterhood. There's nothing wrong with giving a brother or sister advice, especially if you've been through the ringer, you've been through the mud, you've been through the fire, you know how it feels, and you can correct it because you're speaking from hands-on experience. You know what it is to feel that way and be that way. You know what it is to check yourself, to say, I'm doing wrong, and to fix it. You know what I'm saying? And then to proceed forward and live a life that is not how it used to be. You can speak on it. But if you live in foul and you're doing wrong, you have no ground to stand on to criticize or talk about what someone else is doing. You understand? They call that hypocrisy. You understand? And that's just not how we're supposed to live our lives. How can you tell your child, and we growing up, you know, we told the child, you don't do what I do, you just do what I say. But that's not how things work. If a child see you act a certain kind of way, then guess what? More than likely, the child's going to act that way too. You understand what I'm saying? We have to be examples, and we have to make sure that we are conducting ourselves in a certain manner that reflects who we are. Your audio has to match the visual. You understand what I'm saying? It has to match. It has to be equally balanced so it can project correctly. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how we have to be. You understand? So we're going to go to some scriptures. Give me 1 second. On to a couple of scriptures real quick. All right, sure. Let's see. I think we'll start in the book of Matthew, sure.
Okay.
Let's start in, I'm sorry. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. We'll start there and work our way down, right? So once again, you see the title class, it's about examining yourself. You understand? And that's the right thing to do. And in practice, brother and sister, you got to be a brother to yourself as well, and a sister to yourself as well. You understand? You have to sit back sometimes and reflect on the things you do, you say, the things you think. You understand? The things you need to check yourself and find yourself. Some brothers, when I say brother to my men in the world, they might be staring at another woman, at this woman, and that's somebody's wife. And you just staring at her until he don't know what to do with that and all this other garbage you might say. It say in your mind. You understand? We got to examine ourselves and make sure that we're doing the right things and living the right way. You understand? We can't talk about nobody serving the Lord and so on when we're pretending to serve the Lord because we're really eating shrimp and smoking weed and messing with such and such girl from around the corner and all of that other garbage. You understand? And so we sit there. That's a Christian lifestyle. That's an Islamic lifestyle. And some people might say, well, you always smart the Christians and Muslims. Well, I ain't got no choice to talk about them because they're flooding our community. You understand? They're flooding our community. You see, we got drugs and crime and everything else. And listen, being the Israelites not all popular. We're not running things out here. The Christian church and the Muslim mosque is, and we see the conditions of the neighborhood. You see the conditions. We can go out to school right now and walk 3 feet, and you see dope fiends and everything else. You understand? And the Christian church and the Muslim mosque been here forever, especially here in Harlem. They've been here forever. And we see the conditions. All right. And me saying that, why? Because the Christians and the Muslims, they have no moral compass. They can talk all of that righteous nuts, garbage and all of that and be the biggest drug dealers, biggest unalivers in the world. Christians will be the biggest sexual demons in the world. You understand? And you can see that this righteousness they put on in those big, huge mosques with the golden rules and the churches with all that, the porcelain and all of the marble and all of that, you can see, and it looks so righteous, so beautiful, and you go outside and you see exactly what it really is. You want to see what's in a Christian church? You go to Skid Row. Go to the methadone clinic. You understand? Go over there where they're selling K2 and fentanyl. You understand? Go over there. That's the spirit of the Christian church. You see the fruit of the Christian church and the Muslim mosque. Well, guess what? We can't be that way, especially if we serve the Most High God and we have a concern for our people. And we have a genuine concern for our people and love our brothers and sisters. There's a certain way we have to conduct ourselves. In order to conduct ourselves that way, we have to examine ourselves and give ourselves an honest diagnosis. You understand? That sometimes I could be like garbage. I can have nasty thoughts. I can want to steal. I steal. Sometimes I smoke. Whatever your vice may be, or whatever it is you think you're getting away with in the dark, give yourself an honest diagnosis and say, you know what, man? I need to stop drinking. This is not me. I'm not doing the right thing. You understand? I need to check that. Then once you check and find out where did this come from anyway? Where's this stemming from? Examine yourself. You understand? Fix yourself. If you love your brother and sister that much, then fix yourself. You understand? Before you go out there and telling somebody else what they ain't doing right and who they are and all of that. Meanwhile, you a piece of garbage. You understand? That's not how it goes. Let's go to is it 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians 13 and 5.
All right, let's go and get with it.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own self.
And so that's what you got to do. You got to examine yourself. And so before you sit there and talk about what Charlie's doing and what Kevin's doing, all of them, work on yourself, examine yourself, and present yourself the right way. You understand? Somebody's what they're going to point it out that nigga, you telling me something. Look at you. Look what you be doing. And you talking about me? You understand? You got family that sit there and a downplay somebody else. I know fathers and mothers that was on dope and crack and everything else for years. You understand? Kids was all in the system, grew up with their aunt and their grandmother somewhere. You understand? And then come back in the kid's life when they're 35 and got something that want to criticize them about their life and talk about them and say how they ain't nothing, and hey, this, that, and other. Meanwhile, you never examined yourself. You never checked yourself. You understand? You sit there criticizing somebody else. And you was you the nastiest sexual addict there is out there. You understand? And this may sound maybe funny, but this is real life. This is realistic. This is what it is. You understand? So we have to examine ourselves. Let's keep going.
Come on, God. Know ye not your own selves. How that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates.
You understand? What's the whole point of this? God commands us to examine ourselves. You understand? That's what he has. It's not an option. It's not an option. It's not something, well, maybe I should. I don't know. No. Most of God is making it a demand. He's telling we examine yourself. This is what we have to do. And in order for us to even talk about or correct or fix someone else or fix another problem, we have to fix our own problems first. How can we be against violence in the neighborhood and we some violent people? You understand? Ain't no more violent than Christians and Muslims.
Right.
Ain't no more violent than that. They cause all the violence. People can say what they want about Israelites, but they're not here shooting people up, right, and selling drugs and raping people and being sexual. We're not doing that. We build Power Rangers and the rest of this other garbage that they be talking about, but they don't say this, and this about us. You understand? But they don't talk about the Christian church. They're going to talk to them. They the ones that rent things, and you see what's going on. You understand why? Because someone in that Christian church not examining themselves. All they're doing is putting a band-aid on a bullet wound, not getting to the core of the problem and examining themselves. Once a Christian, or when I say Christian, one who practices Christianity, once they examine themselves, they'll come right out of that garbage and say, this ain't the right thing. This ain't for me. Because all they do is breed in hypocrites. Islam, they breed in hypocrites. You understand? Well, the Most High God said that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to examine ourselves. Let's keep moving. Let's go to Lamentation.
Okay.
Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 40. We're going to try to run through these scriptures at a decent pace because of our late start. You understand? But once again, it is imperative to take some time out, put your phone down and all the rest of that garbage, to take some time and listen to the silence. You understand? Listen to the silence and reflect on yourself. Because one thing about human beings, you know when you're right and when you're wrong. It's just a matter of, do you give a damn or not? You understand? You know when you're right or you're wrong. It's just a matter if you care. And if we do care about ourselves, and if we do care especially about another brother or another sister, you're going to make sure that you got your stuff together. You understand? I'm talking about internally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You understand? You're going to make sure you have your stuff together. I used to have an uncle coming up. And I say used to because I haven't seen him in years. I don't know where he's at. One of the uncles that ran the streets for so long. He just disappeared. I don't know where he's at. But he used to be sitting there talking to me about how bad cigarettes was. And it'd give you cancer. And it'd do this and do that. And so forth and so on. And he don't, smoking is not this and not right. I mean, he was anti-cigarettes. But you know what he would be doing, Sean? Smoking a cigarette while he's saying it. And I would say, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was always weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you sit there telling me about something and you And when you see that, what's the first thing that somebody gonna say? Nigga, please. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even listening to you. Well, listen, that's not the way we're supposed to live our lives. That's not how it's supposed to be. You understand? How can we follow a king? We name Yahushua, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. How can we follow him if he wasn't the type of man that examined himself? You understand? That carried himself and displayed himself a certain kind of way as an example for us to follow.
Right.
Well, guess what? If we follow a king like that, then we need to present ourselves the same exact way. And I'm not saying you Christ, and this time I'm not saying we Christ. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we should take on some of those characteristics, though, of self-examining and living a life that's dedicated to your brothers and sisters.
Right.
You understand? That's how we should live. Now let's go to Lamentations 3. Did I give you the whole scripture?
That's Lamentations 3 and 4, sir.
Let me just make sure. Hold on a second here. Got it on my phone. Three and 40, excuse me. Lamentations 3 and 40. All right. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 40.
Lamentations chapter 3, verse 40. Let us search and try our ways. And turn again to the Lord.
And that's what we got to do. Search and try our ways. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Put yourself on trial. Examine yourself. Ask yourself, self, am I doing right? Is this the right thing to do? Can I do better? Am I better? Should I think this? Should I not think this? Am I doing this in the right spirit? Or am I doing this to be spiteful? Be nasty and mean, cruel. You understand? Or how am I doing this? Reflect and think about it. You understand? We can't remember the person, you know, we can't remember who we used to, we can't forget who we used to be and now condemn somebody else because they lost like we was lost. That's not the way to do things. That's not how we do things. That's not brotherly. That's not sisterly. Right. You understand? It's not good to put our brothers and sisters down. We talking about someone, oh, look, they fat. Oh, obese and breathing all hard. Ugh. But meanwhile, you eating every foul thing under the earth.
Right.
You eating all types of octopus and what they call a calamari and scallops and eating everything the Lord said not to eat. You talking about somebody being obese, someone who may have a thyroid problem or something. Well, you got a spiritual problem. You got a spiritual thyroid problem. You over here doing something you ain't got no business doing either. Who are you to talk about somebody else? Who are you to sit there and condemn somebody else? You understand? When you're not looking and acting right. When you're not displaying yourself in a certain kind of way. When you're no grand example to look at. You understand? That's something that we have to work on ourselves. You understand? It's to say, am I right? If you want to lead, brothers and sisters, if you want to lead and be the tip of the spear, you're going to have to be a certain kind of way. You have to take a lot of time to say, am I doing the right thing? Are my actions going to hurt somebody else? Are my actions going to motivate somebody else? Or they're going to discourage someone else? Discourage somebody else may be right. Maybe it will discourage them from doing wrong. But either way, are my actions correct? Are my actions being helpful? Not just to me, but are my actions helping another brother or sister? Should I sit there in public and argue with somebody telling the SMD in front of this young man or this young woman or this elderly woman? Am I presenting myself the right way? You understand? Are we doing things the right way? Just remember we used to have class down in the projects down there, King's Tower, over there on 115th. We used to have class over there in the community center, the rec center over there. And that same, just recently, a couple of days ago, there was a brother over there at a basketball tournament, and somebody shot a brother in the head. You know what I'm saying? I think he might have been from Brooklyn, but he would go ahead.
So, like I said, I'm going to cut you off.
No, go ahead, please.
A brother that I work with, he used to go to the gym with that particular brother.
Oh yeah, Keanu was his name.
Right. Yeah, that's
yeah.
And it was over a woman, he said.
Right. from what I understand. A brother, he's from Brooklyn, right?
Come on, come
A brother from Brooklyn came up to Harlem for a basketball tournament. Heard he was real good with the kids in the community, so forth and so on. Lost his life over a woman. You understand? Somebody tracked him down, probably followed him all the way from Brooklyn. Y'all not familiar with New York City. Brooklyn is in Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? That is way over there. Travel all the way from Brooklyn up to Harlem just to get 2 bullets in his head. And other people got shot in the park.
Right.
I said it to say, this is the climate that we're living in right now. This is the climate that we live in right now. And we have to take the time to think and reflect on ourselves and see, are we doing the right thing? Is this right? Before that brother or sister pulled that trigger and shot that man in the head twice, and then shot other people that was at a park with kids,
right,
playing basketball at a tournament, something to keep kids out of trouble. Did he take the time, or she take the time, just to reflect and say, is this right? Were these children out here who see a man that was helping them learn how to shoot a ball, had to stand in trouble? The man went to college, was a college superstar. He went overseas to play professional basketball over there in Lithuania and Iceland. I didn't even know Iceland was real. They went on to play basketball in Iceland and all over the world. He had at least something to come back and tell the kids that, hey, you can get out of your neighborhood. You can get out of your block. You don't, these projects you live in, this ain't your world. And so you can get out of here. Kids need to hear that, not just in New York City. They need to hear it in Little Rock. They need to hear it in Jackson, Mississippi. You understand? They need to hear it all over the place. That you can get out of here. That you can do something. And instead, another brother or sister out there said, I'm going to kill him. And I'm going to shoot this park up. And if I hit some kids, so be it. If he would have took the time and learned to reflect on his actions or his thoughts or his motives and say, what if I do this, what's going to happen? Should I do this? Would I want somebody to do this to me? Would I want somebody to do this to my brother, my father, my kid, my mother? You understand? These are the things that we have to think about. Before you say something or do something, reflect. Is this right? You understand? And if it ain't right, fix it.
Right.
That's all. Be a man, be a woman. People love to say that. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass woman. Independent, well, strong, all of that garbage. Well, guess what, man or woman? Learn how to control your damn self. Learn how to take time to reflect and say, am I living right? I mean, living right don't mean you got your own car and you got an apartment and you pay your bills. That just means you're an adult. That's all that means. As far as internally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, are you thinking the right thing? Are you acting out the right way? Are you saying the right things? Are you leading people? Or are you going to say, F it, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to go shoot the park up over some woman, over any reason? You understand? This is the climate that we live in. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7. I think I read this chapter. Excuse me. Let's go to Matthew real quick. Matthew chapter 7. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, right? Read it when you got it.
Matthew chapter 7.
In verse 3.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye?
And while you sitting there looking at what your brother's doing, you're sitting there looking at his eye. You understand? You're sitting there looking at his eye and all of that, worrying about what he's doing, looking at his life, looking at her life. Ew, her nasty. Yeah, I can't stand Shaniqua. Yeah, she a stripper. Nasty ass over there shaking and da-da-da, got cigarette burns or whatever. Sitting there talking about it. Meanwhile, you got a boyfriend and a husband. You You sleeping with, as soon as your man go to work, you sleeping with whoever comes to your house. You understand? You married this man or got with this man because he had a good job and he could take care of you. Meanwhile, you're dealing with Brutus over here because he's knocking your back all out of shape. You understand? Just sitting there looking at what your brother and sister doing, and you ain't looking at what you doing your damn self. You understand? Read it again.
But what God? And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye?
Yeah, you looking at what they doing, looking at their actions and their behaviors and everything else. Go ahead.
But considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye.
Oh, you're not looking at what you doing though. You understand? You're not paying attention to yourself. You're too busy talking about somebody else, pushing it on them, pushing the attention on them. Maybe so the attention will come off of you. You understand? So you don't got to stand up and admit the garbage that you're living in and thinking and feeling and saying and talking about. You understand? You sitting there saying this person talk too much. Meanwhile, you're the most gossiping person that people know. You sitting there talking about everybody else's back. Meanwhile, you got something to say about this person talking. I mean, this is the kind of garbage that goes on in the neighborhood. Right. And when you hear about all this talking behind people's back and all of this freaky stuff going on, what do you think about? I can't help but to think about the Christian church. This goes on in the church. Right. I seen it growing up. Soon as my grandmother get home. Did you see Gretchen? Did you see Gretchen? Yeah. She thought she caught the Holy Spirit like I did. She can't do it like me. Did you see me? Did you see me? And then sit there and start doing the dance all over again in the house. And they told me, I mean, just garbage. You know what I'm saying? Just all types of filth and garbage, and just talk about everybody else in the damn church. Talking about who dressed with too tight, who had the best hat on. All of them got fruit baskets on top of their goddamn head, right. And they sitting there talking about who had the most fruit on top of their damn head. And the man, Deacon Johnson, sleeping with Deacon Wilkins' wife, and just a big soap opera. You understand? And it reflects throughout the community. You understand? It reflects throughout the community. So once again, as the scripture just said, we're too busy looking at what everybody else is doing and not looking at what we're doing. And the reason I can sit there and talk about the Christian church is because I had to take the time to look at myself. And in looking at myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to be in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Why? Because they're going to hold me accountable for my actions and my behavior. And they're going to make me examine myself. You understand? And I can sit up and say, damn, I used to do this. I used to think this way. I used to act this way. I used to say these kind of things. You understand? And then those things go away because you have to take the time to reflect. You understand? It's not about being better than somebody else. That's not the point. The point is to be a better you to make somebody else better. Right. That's the point. It's not thinking I'm the shit. Nah. But just like this, just like if the plane is going down or there's some type of turbulence and it's too much, the mask drop down at the ceiling. It is your job to put your mask on first so you can assist other people to put theirs on. You don't put your mask on and say, the hell with everybody else, I got mine. Oh, that's not the whole point. The point of self-examining is to make yourself better, to make other people greater. You understand? It's not about saving your life. It's about saving someone else's life. Right? You understand? That's how that goes. It's hard for me to jump in the water and help you. If you're drowning, you don't know how to swim. But I do. So it's my duty to jump in and help you. Get better. Get out of this jam. Because I took the time to learn how to swim. But you didn't. And that's how you help a brother and you help a sister. It's not about being better than them. It's about making them better or greater than you. But we can't do that, point the finger and look at this. Look, that's not how you do it. That's not the right way to do things. That's not our culture. You understand? Let's keep going.
Come on, God. Verse 4. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye.
How can I help my brother? This is all this is saying. How can I tell you, stop doing that, man. Stop doing that. Get it together, man. But meanwhile, I'm doing worse than you. I'm doing worse than you are. But I'm telling you that not to do something. Read that again.
Or how wilt thou say to thy brother?
How can I talk to my brother? When I say brother, synonymous with sister. How can I talk to my brother? How can I talk to my sister? How can I go talk to them? Go ahead.
Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye.
Let me help you stop being a nasty, sneaky bastard. Let me stop. Let me help you not be a hooker. Let me help you. Let me help you stop. Put the weed down. Let me help you. Go ahead.
And behold, a beam is in thine own eye.
There's a beam in my own eye. I know I'm a nasty bastard, but let me help you not be one. I know I'm a hooker, but let me you stop being one. How can I sit there and say something about you when I ain't nothing? When I'm acting just as worse, just as bad. I mean, I'm in the mud with you. You understand? But just because I got mud on my arms and you got on your legs, I think I'm cleaner than you. You understand? That's not how things work. And this is our king talking. This is the greatest black man that ever walked earth saying these words. How can he lead the disciples? How can he be an example for Paul? And Peter? How can he be an example for them and lead them and make them great? How can he take a fisherman and make him a prophet? Make him a leader? You understand? How can he do that? He had to examine himself. You understand? And tell you this is not how you do things. You understand? How do I know? God don't do it. Christ had to go up to that mountain to be tempted by Satan. He had to go up there and be tempted and fight it. Why? So he could walk back down that mountain and come and die for you, dirty, and for me. He had to do that. So he can come back and say, don't you do it now. You understand what I'm saying? We got to conduct ourselves the same way. You understand? And it's not easy. It's not easy. But if it ain't easy, then so what? We used to say back in the day, if it ain't rough, it ain't right. It ain't easy, but it's not impossible. You understand? Let's read what you got.
Come on, God. Verse 5. Mm-hmm. Thou hypocrite.
Say it again.
Thou hypocrite.
Say it one more time.
Thou hypocrite.
That's all it is you being a hypocrite. You sitting talking about somebody else, and what are you doing? You think the Most High God don't see you in the dark? You think he don't see you in the dark? You don't think he see you laying in that bed thinking about another man's wife? You understand? Think you don't see that? Just like them judges in Susanna? And them judges was sitting there lusting over that another brother's wife that he was living in his house. Lusting over another brother's wife. Approached him. Said, can we run a train on you? You understand? That's not uncommon. How can we sit here and come out and act righteous, be this, that, and the other? Meanwhile, you think you're getting away with something because it's done in the dark. Because it's just you. But that's not how it goes. Not this lifetime. Not serving the Most High God. That's not how it goes. That's it. The Lord knows, and you know. So what you should do is examine that and fix it. Why? To make your other brother or sister greater and better and the best that they can be. That's it. In order for my brother to be the best he can be, I have to be a better me. Now, if you love your brother and your sister enough, get your mind right and stop talking. That's it. Stop talking. That's it. Start being that real nigga and all of that stuff you be talking about any other time. You understand? Let's keep going. Is it more than that? Keep going.
Oh, God. First cast out the beam out of thine own eye.
This is Christ talk. You understand? Oh, hypocrite. Before you sit there and tell another brother or sister what they doing and not doing, make sure you get out of your eye first. Fix you first. This is Christ talk. This is the greatest black man that walked the earth is talking. Keep going.
And then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
And then when you fix yourself, you'll clearly see. You'll clearly see the mote in your brother's eye, and you'll be able to take it out. Now, if you see anything that Christ said is when you fix yourself to be better than your brother, when you get it together and you stop being an alcoholic and stop being a pothead and stop being a sexual freak and all that, did it say thou shalt be better than that brother? No. It says now you can go help your brother. Now you can fix them. Now you can help them get better. You understand? And that's what it's all about. It's not a selfish lifestyle that we live. But you have to examine yourself. Why? Because it's not just your life. This is not just yours. This air we breathe, this is a lease. The body's a rental. This is not ours. You understand? We have absolutely no power to control the breath that comes in and out of our lungs at all. So therefore, this life is not even ours. We have no control. We can't say heart stop, heart start. We have no control. Therefore, we have to live a selfless life, and we have to reflect on our own selves to help our brother. The scriptures clearly said it. You understand what I'm saying? Well, let's drop that. Let's drop that real quick. Hold on a second. All right. What was that? 2 Corinthians. Go to 1 Timothy. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12.
1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers.
Go ahead.
In word.
1 second. Be a what? Be an example?
Be an example of the believer.
Go ahead.
In word.
In word. And what you say.
In conversation.
How you conduct your words. Go ahead.
In charity.
In your love.
In spirit.
Doing things the right way.
In faith. In purity.
That's how you have to be an example. In all of those categories, you have to present yourself in the right way. Spiritually. Through everything they mentioned was brotherhood. And be in the right spirit. You understand? Loving your brother is charity. You understand? You have to be an example of that. You have to be an example. And you can only be an example, as we read before, by taking the mote out of your eye. You understand? By taking the garbage and everything that you're doing, you're feeling, you're speaking about, you're living, take that and get rid of it. You understand? Let me see. Till I come. Let's keep going.
So come, verse 13. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine.
Understand? Pay attention to what the Most High God is saying. Pay attention to it. And not just pay attention to it, but act on it. You understand? Act on it. And what are we speaking about now? Examining yourself. You understand? Take heed to what the Lord is saying. Examine yourself and fix yourself. You understand? Why? Because it only helps our brother and our sister get better. You understand? They're not going to get better with mote in their eye. They're not going to get better with the dirt that they're doing. But they're not going to get better. Why? Because we're not getting better to help them. You understand? Let's go to the book of James real quick. James chapter 1. Go to James chapter 1 and start at verse 22.
James chapter 1, verse 22. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own self.
You understand? Don't just listen to what's right. Do what's right. Because that's what the Christian church do. They try to hear it. They hear about Christ and they hear about all it. But they're not doing nothing. They're not doing any of it. The Muslim mosque the same way. They ain't doing any of it. Don't be that way. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be just a hearer of the word. You got to be a doer. You understand? You have to be a doer of the word. And the only way to do that is to reflect on yourself first. to examine yourself first, to fix yourself first, so you can be equipped with what you need to be a doer. And when you become a doer, you have other brothers and sisters do the same thing you're doing, if not better. But damn sure not worse. You understand? And that's the name of the game, is to help your brother. If you want to help someone go to the war, you got to be strong enough. You understand? You want to help somebody get somewhere fast, you got to be fast enough. You have to be equipped with the tools you need to assist your brother and sister to the next level. And I'm not just speaking physically. I'm not just speaking financially. I'm speaking spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You have to be right to get them right. You got to be your best to make them their best. That's how it goes. Right? Iron sharpen iron. It can't be, they're two dull pieces sharpening each other. You understand? It don't say cotton and iron. Don't say feathers and iron. It's iron. You understand? We have to be a better us. Let's keep going.
Go to God. Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word, for if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
And that's all you do. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing the word and doing the word. You ain't doing nothing but just looking at something that ain't even right. You understand? That's why we got to take time to reflect on ourselves and fix ourselves. You understand? Let's keep going.
So God, verse 24. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
You understand? And all you do, you just do what you want to do. You think your ways are correct, just like the Christian church, just like the pastors, just like drug dealers and pimps and everybody and gangbangs and all of that. You understand? They see themselves and they go their own way. They do what they want to do. You understand? They just do whatever it is they want to do, but that's not the life. You cannot live that life and call yourself a brother or sister to someone else. So that destroys the brotherhood to do what the hell you want to do. And you know what you're supposed to do. You know what's right. When that young man got shot in his head over here, down the block down here, the person that shot that gun knew they was wrong.
Right.
You knew they was wrong. How you know after someone shoots somebody in the head, and how they know they was wrong? How do you know that? What's the first thing they're gonna do after they do it? They're gonna run away.
Right.
They're gonna run. Get the hell up out of there. Why? What you did was right, wasn't it? No, you know it was wrong. You know it's wrong, but you still did it anyway. You understand? And all you're gonna do is end up hurting you at the end of the day. You understand? That's at the end of the day. All you're doing is just looking in the mirror. You just killed yourself. You understand? We have to think, examine. You understand? Because if we don't, guess what? Other people lose their lives.
Right.
And eventually, you lose yours. You understand? Let's keep rolling.
God, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer.
The brother who's listening or sister who's listening, and they're not forgetting. They're not forgetting I shouldn't steal from my brother. They're not forgetting I'm not going to sleep with my brother's wife. They're not forgetting I can't smoke this. I can't snort this. I can't shoot this in my veins. I can't drink too much of this. They're not forgetting that. You understand? They're not thinking, and they're not forgetting the fact you can't just cut your brother in the face because he bumped into you. They're not forgetting these things, right? They hear us and they don't forget. Go ahead.
But a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
Now, when you hear the word and you know what you're not supposed to do, you know right from wrong. If you choose to go do wrong any old way, you're going to pay for it. But if you choose to hear what you should do is right, you understand? What you should do is right, and you stick to that, the Lord said he'll bless you. You understand? The Lord said he'll bless you. And the Lord means that. How do we know that? We can look at our lives today. We still fight. We still fighting to this day. A man still got to go and work to his bones. Work to his bones. Work the skin off of his feet just to get a meal. A sister can die giving birth.
Right.
Why? All because Adam and Eve didn't listen. You understand? We still paying for it.
Right.
To this day.
That's right.
So the Lord ain't playing about what he's saying. You understand? He's not joking at all. Can't you tell? You understand? Can't we tell? We got to examine ourselves, folks. You understand? And through the Spirit of Most High in Christ, he's giving us ample amount of time to fix it. You understand? So let's take the time to examine what we're doing right and wrong, how we're feeling and what we're thinking, and am I acting in a way that's right? Or am I doing this because I'm angry, I'm emotional, I'm upset? I'm going to show you. Watch this. Can't hold me down. Watch me do it this way. That's not the way to do things. Not against your brother and sister. You understand? That same type of competitive little nasty attitude that we have, do that to the Chinese man. Do that to him. Do it to that African man. Do it to that white man. Do it to them. You understand? But to your brother, you make them better. To your sister, you make them better. Even if they get on your goddamn nerves. That's it. Even if they get on your nerves. It don't matter. You don't gotta like them. You gotta love them. You understand? Hold on a second. Let's get some more real quick. Drop that. Go to Proverbs 12:1.
Oh,
See, Proverbs 12:1. Once again, we're speaking about examining yourself. You understand? Fixing yourself, getting it right. You understand? Oh, in these scriptures, we read about men and women that got it right. You know what I'm saying? They had to fix themselves. And we read about the ones that did not get it right. And they got dealt with. And you got to decide which side do you want to be on? What do you want to do? Because the Most High God keep his word. What do you want to do? You want to test that? Or you want to take heed and listen? I would advise that we take heed and we listen, y'all, so we can make each other better. You understand? And we can show the Most High God that we're worthy to send our king back, who was the greatest example ever, to send him back and destroy this filthy place that we live in. You understand? I love you enough to fix myself, to stop my bad habits, to get rid of my vices. I love you that much. You understand? That's how we have to love each other. Why? Because that's how Christ loved us. He loved us enough. You know what I'm saying? He loved us enough to sacrifice his wants and his needs. He was made in the image of his brother. He was made like his brothers. He felt like we felt. But he fought it. Why? For you and I. We should be able to do the same thing. We should examine ourselves. Why? Because it's going to help another brother or sister live a life. It's going to help them towards getting the crown of life. It's going to help them towards eternal life. It's going to help them. You understand? That's the life we have to live. Let's read what you got.
Good one, cut. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge. But he that hateth reproof is brutish.
You understand? And we have to love. We love instructions. Or we do, excuse me. A lot of us brothers and sisters do not love instructions. You know, this is why we in the situation we're in now. Because we don't like to get instructed. We don't like to be told what to do. You understand? We don't like to be told what to do. We don't like that. You understand? Somebody telling you need to do right, we don't want to hear that. But before we tell that person that they need to do right, we need to be right first. You understand? We need to be right. And then we can give that instruction. You understand? And when we're told we're not doing right, we should take heed to that instruction. We should listen. You understand? Some people are going to tell you, yo, you're doing too much of this. You're doing too much of that. You're acting this way. You're doing this and you're doing that. Take heed. But you just make sure, if you're the one telling them, you make sure that you good. I'm not saying that nobody should listen to what you're saying. But what I'm saying is when you say it, make sure you're doing right. You understand? Make sure you got something behind that. And it's not just talk. And they turn around and see you doing the same thing or worse than what it is you told them they should be doing. You understand? Is there more on that? Let's go to Proverbs 15. All right, Proverbs 15. And 31.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise.
You understand? And that's what we have to do. We have to listen to the words of the wise. You understand? That's what we do here in the Israelite School of ISUPK. This is why we have a ranking system where brothers that outrank us, they're wiser than us. This is the way the Most High God wanted. And we listen to their instruction. We listen to what they say. You understand? This is why I'm here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, because I had to examine myself. And once I examined myself, I knew I needed help. I needed to get instruction from men who did what? Examine themselves and fix themselves and walked it and talked it and lived it and still live it. You understand? To get me right. So why? So I can just keep it to myself and say, well, you know what? I'm not going to be one. What did the fake Israelites say? The 2/3? Yeah, I'm not going to be one of the 2/3. That's it. Nah. Receive instruction. Be around the wise. Why? So you can help another brother, help another sister, get them right. That's the name of the game. This love, this wisdom and knowledge, and this charity, and this forgiveness and all of this should be a domino effect. This should spread like hot, like a fire, like a forest fire. That's how we got to spread this thing amongst our brothers and sisters, man. Because we did a good job spreading hate. We did a good job with that. We did a good job throwing these bullets and blunts and butts and everything else around. Did a good job doing that. Now it's time for us not to do that anymore. And it begins with reflecting and examining ourselves, getting ourselves right, getting the proper instruction from men that went through the fire, men that examine themselves, change their lives, and live a righteous life. We got the instruction from them, and now we have to pass it along. You understand? Why? It's everything we do is for the betterment of our people. You understand? It's for them to get right. You understand? Let's keep reading.
Verse 32. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
And that's what it is. You understand? We can't refuse instructions. We shouldn't refuse righteous instructions. You understand? And this is what we don't do in the UPK. We get instructions, but we know where this instruction is coming from. Feel confident in getting the instruction from these wise men that the Lord put in my life. I don't get instructions from the gangbangers. I don't get instructions from men that sleep with other men's wives. I don't get instructions from thieves. You understand? I don't get instructions from men that talk their women into getting abortions.
Right.
I don't get instructions from those men. I don't listen to them. Why? Because they don't live the lifestyle I live. Why would they give me instructions? Therefore, if I'm giving somebody instructions, they're going to judge me and look at me the same exact way. At least if I give instructions, not when I say brothers and sisters that have taken this instruction, taken heed, as we read before, and they're passing this on, they can say, well, he or she is correct. You know, that sister, she ain't a hoe. She don't got her breast all out, walking around with a butt cheek. So I remember that girl at the camp had half of herself was out, just walking around. You understand? Can she give a young girl some instruction? Some proper instruction? No. Just based off their appearance. You understand what I'm saying? Just based off their appearance and how she was carrying herself. My point is, in order to give the instruction, we don't let somebody come back and say, well, nigga, look at what you're doing. Talking to me. You understand? Or taking some instruction from somebody that ain't living right them damn selves. That's the problem now. You got these old niggas, they giving instructions to these young boys, and these young boys going out there shooting everything up. You understand? We got these young ladies. You got 35-year-olds who are grandmothers now, 35, they're grandparents. At 40, they got grandkids. Right. You understand? They're still in the club. 3 generations in the club together. And I'm not saying you shouldn't party and have a good time, but damn, 3 generations, no man around or nothing. This is not right instructions. You understand? It's hard to get some good instruction from that. Right. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is, since we see that problem, let's examine ourselves so we can fix that. Let's make sure we're not doing it, not because we're better, just so we can fix it. You understand? Just so we can fix it. That's how we got to carry ourselves. That's what we have to do. You understand? Now look, Israel, my time is up. We got to cut a little short today. Next week we'll be here. Lord allow it be on time, have everything working and up and running. Once again, we got to reflect on ourselves, make sure that we're doing the right thing, stay in the right spirit. It's not about us. You understand? It's not about us. It's about making the other brother and sister better. You understand? Be the best we can be so the other brothers and sisters be the best that they can be. And that's how we keep this brother and this sister growing. You understand? With that, Israel, until next week, Lord allow, I say shalom.